Michael Silver covers the NFL for Yahoo Sports. He joins us now. He had a column on Matt Barkley. Before I get to that, what do you think of the commissioner saying to the NFL Network and the mothership, nobody gets to tweet any of these picks on opening night?
Well, it is the NFL Network, so I know as a consumer that sounds better to me. Last year I happened to be in the Rams war room and got utterly spoiled. I think I was at least a pick and a half ahead of the world, if not more. I did not tweet, however. If it says NFL Network, then that's the NFL's prerogative.
Yeah, but ESPN is not theirs. It's
well,
a partner.
They have a big fat deal with ESPN. I haven't seen a Playmakers episode lately, so it's really, really, really important to them to try.
Yeah, but Peter King's going to tweet. Jay Glazer's going to tweet. NBC and Fox have agreements with the NFL Network.
Theoretically, I could be tweeting too. Yeah.
Yes.
That's between me and my CEO, Marissa Meyer, and whoever else.
Are you going to tweet?
I don't know. There are a lot of moving parts with me. I may be with a player. I may be with a team. I hope to have a decision very soon.
You spent some time with Matt Barkley.
Yeah, Matt Barkley, I liked him. I look for an edge, especially with quarterbacks. And, I think a lot of people look at Matt Barkley and think pretty boy, SoCal, cookie cutter quarterback from SC. And I saw a fire there that, not only I think spoke to his competitiveness in general, but some regret about the way his senior season went down, and that he should have been even more forceful.
But now he's fighting a different stereotype. We've been talking about Geno Smith, what's been written about him, label, code words in there. Here's Barkley, who's got to basically overcome this laid-back kid who grew up with a silver spoon in his mouth. And he's got to show that he's got an edge. He can be a leader. He's got a personality. He can get angry, tough, get in somebody's face.
Yeah, I think it's real. He has been a starting quarterback on a big-time level relative to his level since ninth grade. 4 years at Mater Dei, which is a football factory in Orange County, 4 years at SC right off the bat. So I do think he has that. I think in NFL circles, more pertinent is he's fighting the Leinart Sanchez stereotype. Maybe you could throw Castle in there as well. But, SC quarterbacks who've been surrounded by really good players come out with a lot of hype. And in Leinart's case, never seemed, ready to be at that level. In Sanchez's case, after the first couple of years went very well, has obviously regressed. And, I think that is the bigger issue for him. And, arm strength is always a big issue, usually a bigger issue before guys get in the league than after, because sure been a lot of quarterbacks who don't blow you away with their deep outs on the money. But, I think he's fighting that as well.
But if you're looking at personality, what's going to prevent him from being a high pick? Is it more his arm strength, or is it more?
Yeah, I think it's the perceptions about arm strength and athleticism. I've heard people say, look, he is what he's going to be because he's running a pro-style offense and has been doing it for 4 years. It's not like you're looking at tons of upside, whereas at least with a Geno Smith, you think, okay, if we can correct some of these things, wow, he could shoot up. And I think the other thing with Barkley is he did, at least on paper and in some scouts' eyes, regress from junior year to senior year, and they don't like to see that. I know a lot of people who really like him, though. It's going to be so interesting with these quarterbacks. I think it's the most interesting thing about this draft. Will there be a run, say, late in the first round where teams trade to get there? Will they all go in the second? Will maybe one guy slip into the first? Will it be even worse than that? And then you've got that group of five, Geno Smith, Barkley, Ryan Nassib, Mike Glennon, and E.J. Manuel, who are sort of considered likely to go in those first couple rounds, but will an outlier get snatched up earlier than people think, whether it be a Landry Jones or the kid Dyson from Miami of Ohio, or Tyler Bray, who has the big arm. So there are maybe five teams on paper you think who really need a quarterback now, but there are others that I think might surprise people that would be tempted to take one, at least in the top 3-4 rounds.
He's Michael Silver from Yahoo Sports joining us, Dan Patrick Show. Yeah, people always start to reach these GMs who, they preach patience, for all the months leading up to the draft, and all of a sudden somebody gets the itchy trigger finger and they hit the button and say, yeah, it's time to take him. That happened, when Cam went number one, all of a sudden, everybody was on the clock going, wait a minute. We got to get a quarterback, too. And then you had guys who were, Christian Ponder and Jake Locker and all, Blaine Gabbert, and everybody went crazy.
But the Bengals were patient, and they got Andy Dalton, and I think they'd argue that they'd take him over what we've seen so far from those three guys you mentioned.
But you have the Russell Wilson factor, though, where he goes in the third round. You can get a quality quarterback still.
I see. This has worried me ever since Russell Wilson emerged. Let me just break this. Let me break this to every GM and fan. The next Russell Wilson is not walking through that door. There's only one Russell Wilson. Now, that's very true. That it should open people's minds to the next guy who's undersized but just blows you away with everything else, or the guy you think, wow, I would take him in the first round if he were just a little taller. Yes, absolutely, go get that guy earlier. But I don't think the next Russell Wilson is walking through that door. On the other hand, Tom Brady, 6th round, Joe Montana, 3rd round, Kurt Warner, undrafted. Open your minds, people.
Michael, good to visit with you.
All right, thanks a lot.
But before I let you go, if you were going to guess right now, where does Barkley go?
I've really thought a lot about it, and with all the quarterbacks, and it's a really tough call. I'd probably say maybe Jacksonville, first pick of the 2nd round, if he's still there. Either they take him or someone trades to get to that point. But it's a really, really interesting call, and I don't think he knows. Good to visit with you, Michael. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. All right, Michael Silver, Yahoo Sports.